Cowboys Nation. Thank you for tuning in with the Stargate Podcast crew. The normal people that you love to see. Mary Ella Spooney, your guy Nick's in the building. Victory
Hola.
week. Victory week. Again. Three
Right.
in a row. You know, it was like we were out of gas, and it was Take City, right? It was a whole lot of other things, right? And lo and behold, we're a week away from possibly being in the playoffs. Ah,
Ooh.
man, I think there's no way, shape, or form anybody saw this kind of turnaround coming. Now we know our guy Mendoza did say he was going to win 3 out of 5, but it's going to take 4 straight. But man, what a time to be alive in Cowboy Nation, huh?
Yeah, I said it some weeks ago that I didn't expect us to win one more game, and here we are on a baby win streak. And we beat a division rival on Sunday, which I was very, very happy about.
Oh, it gets no better. Yeah, that was that definitely, and that's where I was at. It gets no better whenever you can end a divisional rival season, no matter what happens and what goes through, but you're able to end one of those. Spoonie, your thoughts? 3 straight with maybe one out the door to get into these playoffs.
The tables has turned, and going back a couple of weeks ago, we're talking about picking out 5. The guys at the draft who what we won. We're talking about debating quarterback situation. What route to go, and all of a sudden, it's like the football guys just threw a big thunder at the NFL world and says, "You know what? Not over." And here the Cowboys. They right here. They won 3 games straight. And it's not like for me, I had the feeling it's like I'm excited about it because at the end of the day, it's like the way they winning the game is like they put in. I mean, they really playing that ball. They're really trying to compete now. Even though, yes, quarterback situation on the opposing teams, but at the end of the day, guys are coming together off the injuries and stuff like that. It's just wild right now.
Yeah, and as we beat the Bengals, right? Like, okay, well, we beat the Bengals, and then we came back, and it's like, I was okay with that game. I was like, all right, man, we beat the Bengals. We should have beat the Bengals, right? We got some turnovers there. Then we played San Francisco, and we won that game. And to me, the big thing was it was the young guys, and that's the biggest thing at the end of the year that we kind of talked about, during this whole thing was, hey, look, man, if we're going to be losing games and things are going to be happening, let's get these young guys these reps that's going to pay it forward to next year, right? And then you go out and you beat the 49ers, right? And in that game, you see the Wilsons, the Donovan Wilsons making plays, okay? You're seeing these young pieces, step up and do things, which is exciting. And I was much more excited about that because I saw, the Neville Gallimores, getting into 6th straight start now, coming along. You're seeing the young tackles that have had to play, and they're battling now. Even Steele's playing better ball, right? I mean, and that's valuable depth that we're going to see moving forward. And then we come into this game against the Eagles, and my goodness, we saw a defensive adjustment. The one thing we talked about on the pregame, right? We all talked about even behind the scenes was, man, running quarterbacks kill us. Mm-hmm. And right out the gate, they killed us. And then all of a sudden, here comes C.J. Goodwin. And you know what you're going to do, C.J.? You're just going to spy the quarterback. I'm like, oh, is that a coaching adjustment I see to stop what's going on here? Man, it's exciting to see those things and see these reps and, the turnovers out of nowhere. I mean, guys, we're talking 10 turnovers in the last 3 weeks. We are sitting currently 5th in the NFL in turnovers. I mean, Mary Spoonie, we've been rocking and doing this thing for a while. Boy, the number one thing we might have pounded the table the most for has been turnovers, right? Am I wrong here, Mary?
I mean, yeah, we pounded the table for that all last season, all off season. We got really excited about the idea of improving in turnovers. It's one of the reasons why we wanted Donovan Wilson to start. It's one reason we were excited about Trayvon Diggs and what he could do. And we're seeing that now. I mean, obviously, I know some fans are going to be cautiously optimistic because, we played 3 bad teams. The Eagles,
we did.
Hurts is only on his 3rd start. Nick Mullins with San Francisco, they have more injuries than we do, or at least at one point did. And then the Bengals, who are down to their backup quarterback, and even still before that, were having some issues winning games. So I can understand tempering your expectations, but I just look at it as far as before last year, we couldn't even do it with bad teams. So now it's like we took that next step where we're doing it to teams we're supposed to do it with. And that's good to see. It's just about repetition, getting that confidence, and hopefully it'll show up against good teams or when we need it the most.
Yeah, man. I just again and as I talked to some people and whatnot, we were talking about, to me, going into this game against Philly, I was like, gotta have at least 2 turnovers. I think we ended up with 3, one a little bit of a garbage time turnover, whatever. But you know what? They went up there and got the 2 turnovers, and we saw we had a Rich Robinson sighting, even forcing a fumble on the kick return. But oh goodness, it was just out of bounds, and they're flying around. And one thing that me and Spoon talked about yesterday on the phone, Spoon, was that it is against bad teams. And Mary, you're absolutely correct on that standpoint. We're doing what we have to do, even though the Niners defense has still been pretty good, but it's a lot of injury. It's Nick Mullins. We know what it is. It is Hurts. Even though he's coming into the league and playing really well, it's his 3rd start, right? But the big thing about it is these young guys don't know any better. And for these young guys to get these reps and win, even though it is against bad teams, I think that's where we could get excited about it. Spoon, what you think?
Oh, listen, end of the day, Mary hit on the head. In the past, we was losing against bad teams. For the last couple of games, even against a team like the Steelers, we almost beat them, right? We competed to the end. Here come the bad teams. We are demolishing them. So, I take it as a big time improvement, and seeing some guys that we hear that we never see them make big plays. Like, again, you mentioned CJ Goodwin. He made a nice huge play. Seeing guys like Donovan Wilson, who we was screaming why he's not getting playing time. Look what he's doing. He's playing in all real form out here. I mean, Neville Gallimore getting big. Randy Gregory, things of that nature. When you see these guys that you really heard last year with the other staff and with this staff, they are balling. And here's another thing. The staff is not scared to use any play. They're using everybody. I love the depth in the secondary. With Diggs now back, Anthony Brown now back. You got Jordan Lewis.
I don't know if I say I love the depth.
I wouldn't say I love it.
I don't know if I love everybody in the secondary there, Spoon. I say, it's nice to have some more bodies back there for sure. I don't know if I go that far. And speaking of Randy Gregory, what you talked about there, Spoon, first player says James Harrison to have 3 forced fumbles, 1.5 sacks, and a pass defense in the game. So yeah, even ranked higher than that young stud over there from the Washington football team. He was the highest rated defensive end by PFF this week. But now, of course, when everything's happened over the past 3 weeks, this is some stuff that's going to start coming up. And what's going on? I like this. It says, "Oh, this team has me drinking." Hey, that's neither here nor there.
You should have seen me on Sunday, Russ Turner.
But Matthew Guy brought up a good point, and I know this is going to start happening. We've kind of had these conversations behind the scenes. Anyone think Mike Nolan's still in the conversation? And I think it's one of those things. We got to let it play out. Obviously, towards the end of the year, he's making a case. He's making a case. But for me, I never thought he was going to get fired. I thought he would still be on the staff, readjusted, and become like Edwards' job. Now we got to wait and see how this thing plays out. But, it's a meritocracy in the NFL, man, and it's about what you've done for me lately, not early, but how you finish. So, I think it's going to be the longer this thing goes on, if they get into the playoffs, depending on what happens, it will become more of a valid conversation. Do y'all think it's still a foregone thing that no one's going to get moved on, or do you think there's a chance he's this last week, and maybe if we get into the playoffs, he has a chance to come back next year's DC?
I'm with you. I never thought he was going to be fired completely. So my mind hasn't changed on that.
Okay. Readjusted, or will it be readjusted into the system and somebody be the DC, or will Nolan still be the DC next year?
I think it's a strong possibility that it's maybe a promotion or a change in title or duties. Because that may appease some fans. But I think he'll still be there.
I agree
what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Mavi. He may not have the title, but he'll definitely be involved. Just like the way George Edwards doesn't have the title, but he's involved. But yeah, I agree with Mavi.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of those things. I don't think there was a way he was going to come back, but I mean, as things come around and he can say, hey, look, man, I got some of these players in the right positions. The turnovers are the biggest deal, right? Because, I mean, we're still giving up tons of yards. Let's be clear here. We are still giving up a ton of yards, but the turnovers has really been the big key and the big difference for this team. And once again, like I said, we're in the top. We're number 5 right now in the league. If everything holds and we stay in the top 10, I mean, it's the first time in over a decade that we finished in the top 10 in the league in turnovers. So, I mean, obviously there's going to be some things there and what's going on. Shout out to Alan checking in the building. What's going on? How about, we talked about this, whenever Pollard had the big game and was like, hey, don't get ahead of yourselves. You got to find a way to marry Zeke and Pollard together. And everyone was like, that's it, get him out of here. And then lo and behold, here comes Zeke, 100 yards, forces 11 missed tackles, running with a sense of urgency, maybe that calf, and maybe the body had a chance to really get back right a little bit. What are your thoughts on Zeke during the game, Mary?
Oh, yeah, he was running crazy. And I'm proud of him for that because I know he's seen or heard a lot of things being said about him. But I think fans just got to realize that just because a player is great doesn't mean they're going to always be great. Their bodies go through a lot during the season, especially when you're, getting hit so much at the line of scrimmage. So, I mean, Zeke's struggles aren't for lack of him caring. And he's going to always try to fight and do his best. So, I mean, like it or not, he's here. He's not going anywhere. And like you said, him and Pollard as a combination is a great idea. And I'd love to see them. I feel like they worked it in pretty good on Sunday.
Yeah, and the other thing too is, I mean, say whatever you want to. I mean, he's on the cusp of another 1,000-yard season. He's currently 8th in the league in rushing. There's only 2 guys with over 1,500 yards in the league, and that's Derrick Henry at 1,700 some change, and Dalvin Cook with about 1,500. Everybody else is right around that 1,079. I mean, there's not like a big, huge gap where he's completely fallen off. Within the context of the season, I kind of get it, but I mean, Swoon, your thoughts with Zeke and how he played and how this thing is moving forward.
Well, I'm going to call his agent, and I'm going to see if we can work something now where we can have a lawsuit against the Red Zone. Because the Red Zone, people watching the Red Zone are killing me with killing Zeke, and they're not watching the full game. BJ, you just said it. Mary, you just said the reason and why. There's only 2 backs in the league with 1,500 yards plus. Everybody's pretty much the same. He's ranked number 8. They're talking as if he's ranked number 15 and number 20th. And on top of that, we know the reason why. The same reason why the quarterback situation was messed up. The offensive line, it starts up with the big boys, the big bodies. Hell, listen, if they needed some big bodies, some tackles, some guards, they could have called Mary. Hey, set up an appointment with Mary to talk about myself and getting this job done. Because the quarterback situation better than the way they was doing. And trust me, they did combine. Oh, we'll be the nastiest MS. I didn't curse. This week, we'll be the nastiest motherfuckers on that offensive line. Big Gang would definitely represent. And understand this, y'all. Every year we have a top back. Every year that top back will probably diminish with some numbers, depending on what's going on. Other than that, the reason why Zeke's in trouble, why he wasn't running that well. And still in all, we still want to put the numbers up. Well, guess what? He's ranked number 8. There's a possibility he could be ranked number 3 next week. Very easy. That's how bad is it? And you know what? Just like Maddie said earlier, Zeke was mad. He was mad at Cowboy Nation. He was mad at his crew. Even his mama was mad. They read all the tweets and all the bad stuff about Zeke. And Zeke came in there like an animal after missing 1 or 2 games. And guess what? I see a repeat next week. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Yeah, how you finish. It's very true. I mean, no matter who's on your schedule, you're going to play who's on your schedule. And they're hot right now with a chance to have four straight wins and get into the playoffs, right? And Wiley with a great point, the coaches need to get some respect on the way they have this old playing right now. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, 41 last week, 37 this week. You definitely got to tip the cap, even to the point where Jerry kind of said, they've had to keep Kellen dialed back some just to protect this defense. Is what Jerry said on 105.3 Defense, saying, "Hey, I mean, I don't agree." Now we can talk about whether we
I
agree
disagree
with
on
that.
dialing it back. Ooh, I
Now we
was
can talk
mad. I
about.
was giving Jerry the side eye.
Yeah, now we can talk about whether we agree with that philosophy or not. But Jerry came up to the point and said, all the way to the point of, hey, we've kind of told Kellen to keep it under wraps a little bit to help protect this defense. I don't really care for that, but I mean, it's just again to this offense and what's going on, and you've gotten a backup quarterback to go at least 500, right? Kellen Moore, excuse me. Andy Dalton is now 4-4 as a quarterback. Almost for 400 yards passing. We finally, and look, and everything clicked this week. Every play that we've ever complained about that he calls too much clicked. The wide receiver screen to Gallup. Well, damn it, he finally went for 55
yards. As soon as
yards.
he did it, I was like, no. And then I was like, yes.
Yes. Even the daggone wide receiver jet sweep that never works. Well, it went to CeeDee Lamb, and CeeDee Lamb took it to the house. I mean, for the first time this entire season, man, everything that they were calling was just clicking. So yeah, I mean, a big props to that, which I mean, kind of gets us to the segue, and it kind of sounds like, guys, the way everyone's talking, Kellen Moore might be on up out of here after the season. Do y'all think that's leaning that way? The way they're kind of talking and whatnot. Do you think that's a foregone thing? I think if I always kind of believe if they offered him the job, it's his alma mater. I think there's no way he doesn't leave. But the way they're kind of talking amongst the local radio, how Jerry even kind of has been speaking and whatnot, to me kind of sounds like they already kind of know he's gone. What do y'all think? Am I reading too much into that, or do you think there's a chance that Kellen's still going to stay here?
No, I think he's gone. I think they all already know it, and it's just them keeping it quiet until we're done playing. I mean, I saw a clip from the end of the game on Sunday, and different staff members coming up to Kellen, and you obviously can't hear what they're saying, but it's almost like they knew it was his last game to be called there. Mm-hmm. So, I think he's gone. I mean, he said, I want to be a head coach, but I'm just focused on what we're doing right now. That to me says we're not going to say anything until this season is officially over, but I'm out of here already.
Yeah. Spoony?
Yeah, same thing. He's out. Jerry's saying he should take the job. I think Mike McCarthy in one of his interviews was alluding to something where he got the job. It's a great opportunity. He gets to coach the same school that he broke records with. Some very solid players coming out there. Players coming out from Boise State who went to the NFL. Of course, we know a lot of them in Dallas. We love Boise State, and on top of that, it's great because we have a lot of inside track on some of the players that Kellen Moore will coach. So that would be another good look for the organization. But hey, listen, Kellen Moore, he's going to get the job in my opinion. He has the job, so happy for him. And I'm definitely looking forward to see some Boise State game while he's coaching, see what he brings to the table.
Well, for me, I'm hoping he's going to coach at least one more game back here in Cowboys Stadium at AT&T, because if some things kind of fall our way next week, we'll be hosting the team. Looks like it's more likely going to be the Bucs. There's an opportunity it could be the Rams, but if things go our way, maybe we get Kellen Moore in the house one more time to call a playoff game and see what we can do. I think at the end of the day, when it comes to Kellen Moore, and as always, I'm not a guy that campaigned to beating the table for wanting him up out of here, like I did with Scott Linehan. That 35-yard in, that was my big thing where I wanted to see, Mike McCarthy tell him, hey, man, that stove's hot. Don't touch it. Don't touch that stove. Don't call that play. The red zone stuff.
Speaking of that red zone play, he did, instead of giving it to Zeke when Andy Dalton did that, whatever, I was just like.
Yeah, what are we doing? Yeah, well, and of course, Mike McCarthy should have challenged the Zeke run the first
because that was a touchdown.
That was a touchdown. Amari should have caught the one that hit him. So there's that as well. But yeah, Blake Bell got caught up in the trash and couldn't get out on the bootleg. So I mean, Kellen Moore. There's something Kellen Moore did a terrible job here. I mean, with everything that we're dealing with at the points that we're putting up. I mean, we will miss Kellen Moore. And that's. Those are the truths. Now who would you replace him with? I mean, number one on my list is you got a Super Bowl play caller on the staff right now. And that's Mike McCarthy. I don't know why you would do anything else. Joe Philbin, maybe. He's on this staff as well. He's called offenses before. But if I'm choosing, I want Mike McCarthy calling the plays. Who do y'all want if Kellen Moore is to ascend on to Boise State? Who are y'all seeing, or who do y'all like to call the plays for us come next year?
I mean, I think calling plays versus offensive coordinators, two different things, or can be two different things. So
Very true.
are we hiring from within for the offensive coordinator and Mike is going to call plays? Are we hiring from outside? I mean, I think that's a big question. But depending on who it is, that's when I'll decide who I want to call plays.
Fair enough. I think maybe we get the best of both worlds I just talked about. Maybe Philbin will be called offensive coordinator, but McCarthy's going to call the plays come Sunday. Maybe that's what we'll see. But Spoonie, what are you looking forward to as we're going to consider trying to replace Kellen Moore if he does ascend to move on to Boise State?
Well, in the past, his guy has been Tony Clements. That's been his guy. He's I know he's coaching with the Cardinals currently, and you see what they're doing over there. So regardless who the OC is, I think Mike McCarthy will call the plays, but he's gonna call the plays. But in Green Bay, he has Clements as his guy. And Clements right now is with the Arizona Cardinals. So I could definitely see a reunion there, but Mike McCarthy will definitely call the plays, hands down.
Okay. Yeah, Alan, man, hey, man, sure. It'd be awesome to see Lincoln Riley come into the league, but Lincoln Riley's only coming to this league one way. He's only coming to the league to be a head coach. Yeah, he's not going to come in to be a play caller. He's going to come in to be a head coach. I think McCarthy have his hands in it, kind of like this right here. Yeah, what Wiley's talking about is kind of what I said a minute ago. Now, it could be Clements. You are right about Clements. I didn't really think about him, Spoon, and you can bring him in here. But I think at the end of the day, I mean, I'll use the old Bill Parcells. Well, you want me to cook the meal? Well, let me get in here and call these plays and do what I do, right? So and at the end of the day, for me going forward to really evaluate Mike McCarthy, what he's going to be, look, with these injuries, I think we can all agree the last coaching staff, we wouldn't have won these games. I think, there's proof in the pudding, right? Garrett, 2 wins without Garrett and without Dak and Romo, 1 win, 2 wins, that's it. So we've upgraded in that standpoint. I think we have to say that.
I argue with several Cowboys fans about this as far as our whole O-line is injured.
Yeah, Philbin might have been the best coach this year. Philbin might have been our offensive line coach. Yeah,
the season with both of our tackles on IR, then our All-Pro right guard who they moved to right tackle because he's awesome and can play both positions. He got injured, even though that rarely happens. We had Joe Looney in and out multiple times. We had Tyler Biadasz when he was in. He was ready to come back, and then he got an injury. So it's literally been like a carousel of O-linemen. We're down to two undrafted rookies, or one undrafted rookie and one undrafted second year.
Right.
And Connor McGovern and Connor Williams, bless his heart, he's the only one that stayed healthy, knock on wood. So, you got to give a little bit of credit with that because we used to not be able to win a game with Tyron out, and that's it. So I think that's definitely some improvement on the coaching side, definitely.
No doubt. Joe Philbin's probably done it doesn't get talked about enough. Joe Philbin's done a masterful job this year coaching this offensive line with the moving pieces and having to play guys that are undrafted, like Mary spoke on. Just a testament to how well he's done. And look, if we're going to give Mike McCarthy a ding for bringing in Mike Nolan, well, let's also give Mike McCarthy the check mark as well for bringing in Joe Philbin and what he's been able to do with this offensive line. It's been ugly at times. But overall, with the amount of injuries, my Twitter handle at one point in time was I could play offensive tackle for the Cowboys. We saw the memes. Hey, if you got a jersey B at practice at 7:00 for the offense, we kind of saw all these things and able to piece it together, and get it together. And one of the biggest things that is brightly spotted for us because those guys are going outside of Looney, those guys are going to be here next year as the backups with all of that, not just depth for the team, but with all those reps underneath them, that's going to make them even better. Spoonie, the coaching staff, giving some kudos here as we're winning some games.
Yeah, of course. Again, I remember in the beginning of the season, before the season started, off season, when Mike McCarthy was hired and we filled him, we was basically breaking down coaching staff, what we like about what each bring to the table. And when you look at Joe Philbin, we say offensive line. Now, end of the day, just like Mary said, Both your tackles gone. Your best, the guard who's pretty much the best in the league out. Your center, so it's not easy to make adjustments. Now he's
13
coaching
different O-line combinations this season. 13.
Like changing underwear, back and forth. You're swapping guys, putting guys out of position, and guess what? They've been pretty solid the last couple of weeks. And that's been the key to everything. The offensive line is the key for Dalton having time to connect with the receivers, for Zeke to have a better run, even Tony Pollard. And guess what? It's not bad. It's not bad. It's 3 times better than what we saw in the past. And, in the beginning of the season, of course. So what I'm saying is this. We all should be kind of excited, regardless how this plays out at the end, going forward. Going forward, we should be excited about this.
Yeah, again, I just think within the midst of everything and the different things about, I saw a lot of people says, well, maybe Mike McCarthy should have took another year off and stuff. And, certain things were questioned about why he should be in here and stuff like that. And one of the things I talked with our guy, Jay Tuck, was I said, well, here's the thing. And Yates, I talked to him about this too, is like, man, fool's gold, some things like that. I said, here's some things that he did. And I think you have to, bring this to the standpoint where we had them leaks, them anonymous leaks and everything. Mike McCarthy stepped up to the plate and said, hey, man, we should be men. It's open door. And then not only did he make that comment, he came out and he moved some people around. He shuffled the board a little bit, even at a time maybe when we shouldn't have been moving pieces due to injuries. He's like, no. This is going to be this. Then you're going to get up out of here, and that makes people stand up and take notice. It just does. I don't care what anybody says. It makes him stay. He garnered some respect. He had to change the culture of this team from within, from something that's been here for almost a decade. And now here we are towards into the end of the season, and he's got the belief in the building. Things are happening now. And that's a great thing moving forward. Obviously you're going to hate to see Kellen Moore walk out of the building, but on the same token, but what they were able to do with these coaches that he brought in and the Phillips of the world and whatnot, man, it's just exciting time to see. Everything kind of come to culmination for him here towards the end. But with that being said, there is one more team standing in our way, ladies and gentlemen, to at least give us a chance. And the good old gods of the NFL our powers that be, said, well, y'all going to play them Giants.
Right. Oh, yeah, and we got a Giants fan on the thread, Michael Monserrati over here.
Oh, Michael Monserrati. What's up, Michael? Checking in the building.
He said the Giants are going to win, guys, so...
Okay, well, we'll see. There's a game to be played, right? There's a game to be played. And obviously we have to play them at the noon game or one if you're on the East Coast. And if whoever happens to win that game, Cowboys, I think are going to take this one. We got to wait all the way to daggum Sunday night to watch the Washington football team and Eagles play to see who's going to really get in. So, we kind of know where they've kind of been at. They've had some quarterback issues as well due to injuries. They've been beat up as well. They've lost some players over their big running back, right, and so on and so forth. Their defense has played a lot better, but the offense has kind of been sputtering. Our offense is kind of hitting its stride. We're on the road. It's divisional. It just feels like good old end of the year football, and we're playing for something on the line. So let me ask y'all this: what is the biggest thing going into this week that you think the Cowboys have to do going up to New York to get this win?
I think it's going to be all about defense, honestly.
Okay.
I think that Jason Garrett is going to try to pull a few stunts on us. I think that there's still some weaknesses on our defense, obviously.
Right.
We need to, take advantage of Daniel Jones not being 100%. Take advantage of, he might not be able to run. Take advantage of his tendency to turn the ball over. So defense is going to have to be opportunistic, need another big game from Randy Gregory, and our offense just has to continue to capitalize and do, I want to see all the same stuff they did against the Eagles. I want to see them be fearless on offense. Andy, we've been very critical of Andy on this show for good reason sometimes.
Yeah.
But what he has been doing, I've noticed, is he's getting rid of the ball faster. He's being more decisive. And that's what we need him to do again on Sunday.
I like that. Decisive. I agree with you. Very much more decisive with the ball and getting it out there. And look, low key, I mean, if he didn't underthrow a couple of passes, especially the one that was intercepted, that's a house call. He could have threw for 500 yards, to be honest with you. Spoony, what do you think is the number one thing that we got to do this week against the Giants, man?
Well, listen, stop the run. The one thing I didn't like against the Eagles was Jalen Hurts' mobility. Every time they would do the option, and he would go right to the right. You saw D-Law bite very hard a couple of times, and by him biting, those 3rd and 1s went into, for his 15 first down. So, hopefully, just like Mary said, hopefully Daniel Jones is not, don't wish on injuries, but hopefully, if he's not 100%, that mobility of his is definitely a weapon that they could definitely use against us. And against Garrett, he's going to study very hard. He's going to see he knows our weakness. It's no lie with that. But if we could stop the run and we could stop Daniel Jones, I think we'll be fine. I'm not really threatened by the passing game the way this team has been playing lately. I'm not really threatened by them. These guys are going after that ball. So for me, just the run between either the running back or the quarterback mobile.
Right. I think at the end of the day, I think it's the same thing. And while we've been hot, guys, we've been hot the past 3 weeks. I think it's boiled down to turnovers and this defense creating turnovers. And I think it's going to be kind of the same thing here. Look, they're probably going to be able to run the ball on us some. I mean, we just know who we are as a team at this point, right? But the biggest thing to negate those things is get turnovers. I think if the Cowboys get 2 turnovers this week, I think it's going to be another win. That's what I thought about it against the Eagles game. I had the game 34-31, and I said I think 2 turnovers is what will get us in the building. So I think it's the same thing this week as well. I think the offense will do fine. Now, a little bit tougher defense. That guy Logan Ryan back there lurking around a little bit. And that defense has been playing very well for them. And that defensive coordinator doesn't get enough credit up there in New York because that defense has been kind of porous, and they're doing a pretty good job on the defensive side of the ball. So for me, I think it's going to boil down to, once again, can this Cowboys defense, after 3 straight weeks, stay hot and get them a couple more turnovers, 2 or 3 more turnovers. And I think the Cowboys might be cooking with some Crisco, if you will, cooking a little bit of Crisco and firing up some chicken, getting ready for maybe these playoffs possibly. Especially if Daniel Jones isn't 100%. Again, we don't campaign on this show for injuries, but if it's going to limit his mobility, and that's going to let maybe, if Gregory and we get Gregory and Lofton ends, they got to get to a position where they got to start throwing that ball more. It bodes very well for us. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Let me check some of these. See, we got some questions, some responses. Said Alfred. The Giants said Alfred Morris is coming. we do know a little bit about Alfred Morris over here in Dallas. Everyone I guess kind of knows about it because he had the 1,600 yards as a rookie with the Redskins or whatever. He's kind of played for all of us over here in the East for the most part. David Pickney also coming in a little bit more zip on the ball. Maybe a smidge more zip on the ball from Eddie, but he ain't throwing no lightning bolts out there. While he's checking in saying, get the lead, force teams to throw the ball. Yeah, anytime you can make them one dimensional, it's always better, especially getting to stop running the ball. Zach Martin playing, that's the word. He's going to give it a go and try to play this week, which also, if the strength, if he's good to go, and he's ready to play, obviously that's very good. Since I'm campaigning for Alex Smith to sit out Sunday night, I think all the Cowboys Nation, I'm not cheering for the Eagles. I'm just saying if the Washington team happens to lose, great. It's just, look, Eagles, we ended your season, but on your way out the door, just turn the light off for us on the Washington football team for us one time. Mendoza said Jones is always good for at least one turn. Yeah, he's a little Eli. He'll give you some candy. He'll give you a little candy. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And absolutely, Rush. Gregory has been coming on lately, and hopefully we keep seeing those things moving forward. And the other thing too that I'm excited about, seeing this marriage once more, this running back tandem, guys, with Zeke and Pollard, and getting them more involved early on to loosen up. Because even with them getting going, and even though we know we got the 3-headed monster at wide receiver, well, all of a sudden you got to keep paying attention to those guys in the backfield. Well, there goes Amari over the top for 53 real quick. All of a sudden here's CD down the pipes, and it's one of those things that kind of goes back and forth, and definitely can give us some added advantages on the outside if it's going to be a little tight on the outside first. Let Zeke and Pollard butter them up a little bit, and then get things going. I think too that teams are going to play pretty inspired. Especially after everyone's coming out. You kind of heard what Zeke said. You kind of hey, if you wasn't really riding with us, don't come along now. So the team is kind of building this us against the world mentality all of a sudden. And hey, I know 7-9. I'm not talking about what we're going to do in the playoffs, but when you get that bunkered in mentality with your guys, and you got to win a game and let something happen, I think they get the job done. Whether they make the playoffs or not, I think they get the job done against the Giants. And I think ending the year winning 4 straight, no matter what, is absolutely huge for Mike McCarthy's program and what he's trying to do moving forward.
Yes,
yeah,
100%.
I want to add in, Sean Lee. When Sean Lee when he huddled on the sideline, this is the reason why you want to keep a veteran guy. It's very easy. Some fans would be like, "Get rid of the guy. He's old. He's always injured." But here's the thing: a coach on the sideline versus a coach on the field is 2 different things. A player will respond to his brother when his brother is giving that speech, and whatever he said to them, they responded. That's why it's always important to keep a veteran guy like that. This is why we call Sean Lee the general. The general
he was in coach mode. He was already in coach mode.
Exactly. And again, he may not give it the way he used to be when he was more healthy and much younger. But then whatever he said, it got to them, and the lights was out. They turned the lights on, and it was going 24/7.
Yeah, I mean, 30. It was the rest of the game from that point forward, 34-3.
Yeah.
34-3 from that point.
He gave him that Coach Yo speech. He didn't want nobody crossing that line of scrimmage.
It is so true. No, not another yard. and the boys was intense, and the thing, and I love that, especially and especially that's going to be Sean Lee's last game at home for us. What a way for him to go out. Having that, that moment and what happened. On the same token as Lee transitions, if he's not going to play next year, I don't think he is, but time will tell. I hope to see DeMarcus Lawrence move into that position, rallying the guys around him and having that. He's the guy that should be doing that moving forward, hopefully, as the true to life leader, taking over for Sean Lee in that capacity. But again, another thing too is we're talking about these young guys getting plays. You see all the games that Diggs missed. He has 3 interceptions now. The first cornerback for the Cowboys to have 3+ injuries since
2013.
Brandon Carr.
Yeah.
Man, another great thing to see the young guys come through the building and walk and see what they're doing. I think not to get too far ahead of this thing because we got one more significant game to play, moving forward in the linebacker position. And I've kind of talked to a lot of different people about this. LVE and Jalen, we can talk about however this year has been for them and whatnot, but we know we've seen them play at a high level together for a whole season before. And I think that's one of the things that bodes well for us going to next year because as a player, I know if I've seen it once, I can see it again. And I'm hopeful that can come back, for us and happen next year. But I don't want to get too far ahead of that. Just kind of talk about the Sean Lees of the world and the linebackers and get me emotional over here, Spoony, because, Lee and everything he's did. Too bad he couldn't stay healthy, possibly a Hall of Famer. But that'll never be told. Yeah. Do you think he's going to transition? We know we've heard the words, right? Hey, if you're dumb enough to get into coaching, let me know that Mike McCarthy told him. Do you think they'll find a position for him to become a coach this next offseason? Or do you think he's going to retire, maybe step away for a while?
No, I don't think he has it in him to step away. I think he's if they find a spot for him, he's going to move into coaching. He will still be in that building every day.
Spoony?
Yeah, he's here. I'm with Mary. He's here all the way.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in his blood. He's meant to be a coach. And listen, we saw where the progress that Jalen Smith made from coming from his injury when we drafted him. And you see OBE, Sean Lee is part of that reason why those 2 guys are playing the way they're playing. So you want a guy like that on your coaching staff, definitely. He's here.
Yeah, I think if he's in the coaching staff, a lot of people say, "Oh, make him DC." No. He never coached before. Oh yeah. Linebacker coach, something in that realm, something like that. We do have a question here from Ron. Says, "Is where the division the biggest loser? Do we have a chance to even get out of the first round?" Well, I mean, here's the thing: is you play to win the game first and foremost. If you didn't get a chance to listen to what JJ Watt had to say. in his post game this past week. I encourage everybody to go take a listen to that. So you play to win the game, period. And in this particular draft, there's not a Chase Young. And what we need is defense, right, guys? Let's be clear, right? We know there's not a guy in the top 10 where you're like, oh, he's a defensive game changer.
Right.
There's just not that surefire guy. For me, as this thing was going on, if we could have a top 5 pick, I was all about being able to trade back and get more picks so somebody comes get the quarterback that they wanted. Outside of that, for me, the best pick that we can possibly get, people don't want to hear it, would be a Pitts around 8, 9, 10. If Pitts is there at tight end, sign me up. It is what it is. But if you look at the, depending on what flavor ice cream you like at cornerback, where we're talking about Fairley or we're talking about Surtain. I mean, Surtain's not even a top 10 pick last year unless you're strapped. Let's just keep it a buck. So I mean, there's just so many different opportunities that you can do stuff there. So, in this instance, if we're talking about and we're winning the division and being hurting us, draft wise, I don't think it really hurts us that realm. And once you're in there, you just never know. I mean, here's a stat: the last 2 teams to go 7-9 against the division. You know what they did? They won a playoff game. And that was the I think it was the Seattle Seahawks, and was the other team actually New? I know New Orleans lost to them, and there's one other team, but the last 2 teams that went 7-9 actually won their first round playoff game. And man, how sweet would it be if old Tampa Bay came in and Tom Brady had to come down here? He's not mobile, he can't move. And I mean, their run game, not that they haven't done well with the run game, but their run game isn't just enigmatic, if you will, and you're able to knock out Tom Brady in the first round no matter what. So yeah. I mean, I don't say you're the biggest loser if you win this division, Mary.
I mean, I've said multiple times, I want to win. Like, I didn't think we were going to be good enough to even be talking about this right now. I didn't expect us to win this, even be anything close to a position. But in typical NFC East fashion, all the other teams folded when we were on our way up, and it's now possible. I think if you're looking at just the draft, then I guess you could say they're the biggest loser. But I'm looking at, we got a bunch of young guys that get playoff experience. I'm looking at we got guys that are going into next season with more confidence. We got a coaching staff that's going into next season with more confidence, and that's more important than hoping you get a guy that's not a bust in a draft that no one really knows anything about. So I mean, in this COVID year, the way things have happened in college football, I mean, there's just, not saying there's not going to be a defensive guy that ends up being great. I mean, anything can happen, but that surefire, hey, go get this guy on defense. He changes your defense day one. He's just not there. And I mean, that's really what this team really needs at this point. And, you can still get those guys. And we have a bevy of picks as well. Don't get it twisted. We're going to have probably 2/3 and 2/4. Right. Yeah. So we're going to be able to, if we want to go up the board and get somebody, we'll be able to do it at any point in time in the draft. And just like the Cowboys of old, I'm not trying to compare them to the 90s Cowboys. I'm just saying, hey, man, they got into the playoffs, right? They won a game that they got beat by the Lions, okay? And then they went on to win 2 straight. I mean, there's just certain things that you can't replicate. And like Mary said, getting playoff experience is huge because we have a lot of young guys on this team. And one of these 4 games that be in this do or die situation every week, like I said, even if we don't get to the playoffs, but if we end this season winning 4 straight is monumental. If I get to kick that thing off with at least 4 quarters of playoff football for these guys to go get, by all means, sign me up for that. And if we go on Mike McCarthy's history, right? Was he 8-8 his first year and then conference championship, right? Right. Go ahead, Sven. What do you think about the winning the division, man?
Well, here's the thing. Just to add on to what Maddie was saying, she hit everything in the head. I want to add on, winning will also attract other players who are free agents who want to go on to this team because they are seeing what's going on. At the end of the day, look at the story of the Dallas Cowboys. It's pretty. I compare it to the story about us, what we all facing in this 2020 pandemic, right? Patience, have faith, don't give up, keep going. Everything that we've been going through personally, as far as to lift ourselves up, the Dallas Cowboys. That's the way I look at them. while we was already moved on, some was moved on to the draft, it was like, we're not done yet. And at the point where they're at right now, win and hopefully get in if Washington loses. My thing is that even if Washington wins the game, you have to be proud. And you know what? Forget the draft. It's a crapshoot. We don't know what these guys are gonna pan out and be. We don't really know. And like BJ said, you can evaluate all the guys coming out. There's not a Jalen Ramsey out there. There's not Chase Young in this draft. Mm-hmm. If you want a quarterback, guess what? This is what this draft is good for you for. You have about 3 quarterbacks in the top 5 that you can get. If you want to Sewell, the offensive line, a generation tackle, that's about it. Everybody else is pretty much a crapshoot. And the one good thing is just great depth, but not a real star player that's going to really come out. Now, so my thing is this. I like the fact that this new team going into the playoffs, something to build on, something to feel good about. And what's going to happen is that when you get the new guys coming next year, you're going to have the guys currently help these guys buy in. That's how you build a team. A playoff team. You want to keep staying a playoff team. Again, it's like Mary and BJ said earlier. Back in the days, we're losing these games. We are losing these games. So, the way I take it is right now, we are winning. And even if we don't make the playoffs, just the last few games, it really shows us this team right here, when everybody comes back healthy, and, of course, hopefully they add some good pieces to this, we're going to be a dangerous team. So, my thing is this. We're not losers going to the playoffs at all. Even if we get knocked out in the first round, this is something to build upon.
Yes.
Yeah, and man, hitting it right on the head. You can't coach. You can't coach confidence, as Wally said.
Yeah.
You can coach technique, you can coach a lot of different things and whatnot. But as far as it, translating to the field and what you do on the field for those players, you cannot buy that. It's you can't buy that. The buy-in. Indeed, preach it, Spony. And that's big, and it's part of changing the culture that we talk about in house, and what we're talking about when it comes to this head coach and what he had to deal with. Taking over for a regime that had been here a long time. So it was a process of changing those things. And whatnot, and we're seeing that. And look, and even when it comes to Andy Dalton, as we're talking about, he's getting the ball out quicker and different things like that after the concussion. He had to get a little bit more timing. He had to shake off the rust a little bit. Things of that ilk, and things are clicking at this moment. Much of the beginning of all these turnovers, ladies and gentlemen, that we're getting right now, and not been wasting them. The first half of the season, right? It's definitely been coming through. Jerome says, "Do you think, guys, that Marion Barber's top 5 Cowboys running back?" Me and a friend was debating about this. So you got the right. Well, let's see what you got. You got obviously you got Emmett, you got Tony Dorsett. All right, those up there. You got Calvin Harris, not Calvin Harris. Excuse me. Calvin Hill, Walt Garrison. Could you slide Mary Barber at 5? Barber was a great fan favorite. He was a fan favorite. He did some things. Don't forget about Herschel Walker being in the building as well.
Right.
Yeah, Mary Barber, definitely the Barbarian, a fan favorite. Did a lot of things, but I don't think you can slide him into the top 5 personally.
Right. He Mary
Perkins. Got about Don Perkins. Got about Perkins.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Team loves their running backs.
Yeah. Can't get over in there.
Hayes, remember he's played for us. He went to the 49ers too.
Right.
So I wouldn't say top 5. But I'll tell you one thing. I'll say this. Maybe as far as the toughest, one of the toughest backs, I'll definitely put that top. Definitely tough. Tough runner.
Hard runner. Yeah. Hard runner for sure. Yeah, hard runner for sure. But definitely. Not
that Patriot game a long time ago when he got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah, the greatest 3-yard run ever.
Yes. He only needed one more missed tackle, one more to get to the house, and I think that would have topped 20 those sets 99-yard run.
Harris is another one. And I mean, yeah, for what it's worth, I mean, the reason DeMarco Murray, look, you have to let Murray move away from this franchise for a while. Now here's the thing. And look, and we saw what Murray did when he went to the Eagles, and he kind of bounced back with the Titans a little bit. Murray might have been the ultimate guy that garnered a lot of stuff from this offensive line, more so than what Zeke has, to be clear. But no, Murray had his moment as well.
I'm mad at
no
Murray.
ifs, ands, or buts about it.
That fumble in Green Bay, I'm mad at him with that.
Oof, Lord, don't get me started.
Jesus, I'm sorry, Mary.
Yeah, I will agree. I will agree with this. DeMarco should be higher than Barbarian. He did more. I will say that. I'm definitely with that for sure. I definitely will put Murray over the Barbarian. Man, but yeah, the Barbarian boy, he definitely had some good stuff. Shout out to Marion. Hopefully he's doing well. But with that being said, I guess it's about that time. It's been a while since we had Spoonie's Minute.
Uh-oh.
I guess it's been a while. And, what better time to have Spoonie's Minute than the Cowboys, Week 17, coming to his backyard, playing the Giants with a chance to go to the playoffs? We're talking about the playoffs? Yeah. Spoonie by all means, sir.
Wait. We in week 16.
17.
Live. We got a Giant fan respectfully joining us. And we got Cowboys. And one more thing. The Cowboys are in my house coming here. Wait one second, please. Give me 2 minutes.
Uh-oh.
No.
Oh, boy.
Not only Cowboy Nation can hear this, we are America's team. America needs to hear this. Give me 1 second, y'all. Excuse me.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
All right. Y'all, I have no clue where this is going.
I don't either.
Look, Mary, not only did he say, give me 2 minutes, he bounced out and sees to come back in.
Yeah,
so with that being said,
he told us bye.
I don't even know where I'm scared. I'm scared to see where Spoon's about to go with this. But I mean, as I'm seeing over here in the comments section, everybody's going back and forth a little bit about the top fives. Definitely. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, for sure, Murray was better than Barbarian. Love Barbarian, but yeah, definitely put him over the top of what you call it. I mean, I never really said that just at the top. I mean, Emmett's the king. I mean, period. I think Tony D's right there, right underneath him. Probably going Perkins third. I mean, Harris is another good one that Mendoza did bring up. Dwayne Harris was another good one. I had to think about my third and fourth. I would definitely have to think about my third and fourth. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know what Spoon's about to do right now. Yeah. All I know is he's coming back in Macho Man style.
I'm a bit concerned.
a little bit. He's never left. He's never left and then came back. Because I don't even know. You know what I did? Here's what I did, man. I hyped him up too much. This is what I did. I was like, week 17, playoff football in your backyard. I hyped him up too much.
You did.
I hyped him up way too daggone much. Oh, my goodness. I don't even know when he's going to pull out the closet. I have no clue. I have unequivocal no clue what's when he's about to pull out this closet for y'all.
I have no idea.
Here's what I do know. It'll be worth it, whatever it is. For sure. It will definitely be worth it. Oh, man.
So what's your score prediction for Sunday?
Man, you know what? I think it's going to be a little bit lower scoring. I knew it was going to be high scoring last week. I think the run game's going to get involved a little bit. I think it's going to be lower scoring. But I think I'm going to go with the Cowboys 27-17. I like 27-17. I like 27-17. I think that's where we're going to be at. I don't think it's going to take 30 points to win this one. I think we'll get a good lead, maybe try to milk that clock some. Kind of what we did this last week, right? We kind of got up big, and then all of a sudden that play calling kind of went into a shell, and we wasn't doing much. It was like some 3 and outs, like, okay, like let's not get off the gas yet, but yeah, I like the Cowboys 27-17 against the Giants this week, and then we sit on pins and needles to go back and see. Real quick, man, while we're waiting for Sweetie to come back here for Sweetie's Minute, what is y'all's score prediction? Let's see what we got. Rush Turner in the building says 35-17. I got Michael Richardson 24-20. Mendoza, the hot 30-20. 10 points. So we're kind of the same wavelength with that 10 skis. Hey, look, since we've been winning, I've been wearing this shirt on all these shows. So, I mean, that's where I'm at with it. Until we lose, man, I am keeping the shirt rocking. You know what I'm saying? It's got to. Jerome's got us 24-14. Michael, 27-20. Of course, he's going to go for the Giants. We appreciate you tuning in, brother. Here we go. Spoonie's back, y'all. Let me get him on. Let me get him on in here. Oh, he done went out. Oh, Lord. All right, Spoon. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna put you. Let me put Spoon solo on the screen. Let me solo Spoon real quick. Let me solo.
You don't went outside.
Go ahead, Spoon.
See, here's the thing, y'all. We are America's team, so I think America needs to hear me out. See, right now we have some Giant fans in this area that I know. So I want them to hear my voice. They need to hear my voice to understand what we're gonna bring this Sunday at the Meadowlands. See, the story of the Dallas Cowboys right now has been what? We expected this high-power offense. We expected a lot of great things, but unfortunately, things didn't happen our way. The Giants, you took out our quarterback, Dak Prescott, right? So here's the thing, Cowboy Nation. We need to get in there and we need to fuck somebody up. And I'm talking about we have everything on the table going into Sunday. We won 3 games straight. We need a 4th one. We need to make some fucking noise. Now, this is a hill right here, y'all. This is a hill. We're climbing the fucking hill. And as we climb this fucking hill, everything coming our way, what we're going to do is, demolish them. That's how we do it. Yeah, I bust my ass. It's all good. But guess what, y'all? I'm still up. I bust my ass, but I'm still up. And that's how we're going to do. We got up, put the fight in, and go and do what we got to do. And why? Because we are America's team. You Giant fans out here, I'm telling you this right now. Pack your shit, go fucking home, because your off season has already began. The playoffs has begun for the Cowboys right here. We're gonna get in there, beat some asses, hit all the critics about losing the first round, and we're gonna shock the fucking world. That's what we're gonna do.
Okay. All right.
All right, Spoon. Hey, Spoon said, let me get out here and let people hear it.
Yeah, he's okay.
Cowboy
All right.
Nation is here to stay. Number 1 team in America, the Dallas Cowboys. Y'all hear me? Understand this shit. Your off season ready to start. The playoffs ready to start for the Dallas Cowboys. That's gonna be.
Oh, okay.
All right. Fair enough. Spoon said, I'm up here in New York. I'm going to take it to the streets. I'm going to take it to the streets and let them know Cowboys Nation is coming to that building to get that win, irregardless if it gets into the playoffs or not. We'll have to wait till that time. But he says we're going to win. Spoon, what's your score? Spoon, give us your score before we get out of here.
My score's going to be 40-14.
Did you say 40?
40 to 14.
I think they can hear you from Arlington, Spoonie.
They might be able to. they might be ready. Michael says, of course, it goes out when everyone is sleeping, rolling his eyes. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all rocking with us. We had to get that Spooniees Minute in. Obviously, we going here to Giants Stadium and get it in. As always, man, you can find me at Twitter, your _guy_Knicks. You can find Mary Ella at Stargate Beauty. You can find Spoonie at Spoonie881. You already know what you're rocking with. Stargang is the group. Stargang is the page. Go like and follow both, please. And on YouTube, Stargang Podcast, man. Hit that sub and follow us. Before we get out of here, Mary, what you got for the people? Last word.
Whatever happens on Sunday, let's just do what we need to do and end on a high note. Let's win this game. If nothing else, then to just make fun of Giants fans, because that's always fun. So
it is always fun. And look, and at the end of the day, right? We ended the Eagle season. Right, and we can go ahead and take care of the Giants, because I mean, if the Giants win and Washington loses, right, they get in. So we can at least, if nothing else, end both of their seasons. Spoonie, last word.
Keep fighting.
Keep fighting. At the end of the day, appreciate y'all rocking with us. Let's go get this 4th straight win and let the chips fall where they may. We will check y'all out with the post game for sure. We will definitely check y'all out next Tuesday, win, lose, or draw. Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a